Hello, everybody. How are you? Hopefully, everybody's having a good day. Just trying to get some people in here so we can start our live show. I just wanted to say hello to Eddie since he's the first person here today. So, hello, Eddie. Welcome in. Brooklyn in the house always. So, hopefully, everybody's having a good Tuesday. Today is Taco Tuesday. So, hopefully, everybody's having a good day today, enjoying your Tuesday. There's a lot of stuff going on today, so hopefully you guys are having a good day. So just gonna try to see if some people can come in so we can start the show and get everybody situated. So just gonna try to. So how's everybody, doing? What are you guys doing today? Today, our show is going to be revolving on traveling insurance. So we decided to talk about travel insurance in the midst of everything going on right now in the cruising world. So we're going to talk about travel insurance today. There's a lot going on. I'm not sure if you guys have heard the news of the two young ladies from Tampa. They boarded Carnival Paradise, I think about a week ago, or more than a little bit of a week ago now. They've been all over the news. They went on their first cruise, and when they got to Cozumel, they had rented a moped or a scooter, if you can say, and they had an accident in Cozumel. And while being in the accident, they took them to the hospital. The ship left port. They contacted her mom over here in the United States to let her know that the girls never came back to the ship. So a few days later, I guess the daughter contacted the mom to let them know that they have gotten into an accident and they were in the hospital. So I know that they're finally back in Tampa. So they're finally back in Tampa, and they're in the hospital taking, getting the care that they need at this point. And hey, Scott McNeil, welcome in. So, and it's just been crazy, that news has been all over the place. And I just wanted to talk about the importance of having travel insurance when you're cruising, or whether you're traveling, by airplane or wherever you're traveling. Make sure you have travel insurance, that you're protected. Anything like this can happen. Sometimes, we say, oh, we're going on a cruise for a couple of days. We really don't need it. But obviously, look at what happened with these young ladies, that they went on this cruise not thinking anything of it. They didn't have travel protection, and something happened and they were stuck in Cozumel. I'm thankful, and I'm happy that they're back in the United States, and they're taking care of them, and they're in the hospital getting the care that they need. But just to know the amount of medical bills that they probably either owe or they have to pay. I don't know how that worked over there in Cozumel. And if they would have travel protection, at least they would have gotten some of that money back. So that's one of the reasons that we wanted to talk today about travel insurance, the different types of travel insurance that they have out there. I personally do Alliance or Allianz, like some people might say. I do a yearly policy because I do travel a whole lot. So I do a yearly policy with them. I just renewed my policy, and I added, pretty much is me, my husband, three of my kids, my mom, my daughter, and my grandson into my policy this year because we're going to be traveling a whole lot. So at least I know that they are protected just in case if something were to happen. And I do buy my yearly. Some people that don't travel that much, I can offer them Ting Leg. There's all sorts of different travel protection. And even if you don't want to get it through a travel agent and you want to get it on your own, at least have some type of insurance, for when you're traveling. I'm sure that Scott probably buys a yearly travel protection because Scott is always on the go as well. But it's very important for you to have, travel insurance, at least, for in case of an emergency, because you never know. Like, yeah, most of the times, we go on a cruise and everything will be fine, no problems. But sometimes you never know. You never know what can happen during that cruise. You never know. And I've seen it. I've been on cruises where in our cruise in May, we were on the Carnival celebration and we had just left port, not even, maybe we were sailing at most, maybe 40 minutes at most, because you could still see the land from where we were. And the celebration had to stop because there was an emergency on board, and they sent in, hello, Michael, welcome in. They had sent in the Coast Guard to come pick up that person that got injured and take them back home. So, and that was just within 45 minutes of the cruise starting. And I've seen where, people sometimes are by the Lido deck. Sometimes people have slipped and fall on the Lido deck because of the water. Sometimes I've seen people fall down the stairs on the Lido deck. So you never know. Some of these things are it's like something small and, nothing big. But if something big were to happen, at least you have insurance to protect you from any medical, or any fall that you might have. If they have to airlift you, that's you're protected by that. So just keep in mind that travel protection is very, very, very important to have. I know it costs a little bit, and some people might like say, it's like what you spend maybe under $100 or $100, depending on your age, depending where you're going. But at the end of the day, if you're going on a cruise and you're already putting all this money, just set some money on the side. One of the things that I always tell my customers, a lot of people like to travel with just their birth certificate. I always encourage everybody to have a passport, because of this situation with these young ladies. They didn't even have a passport. They were traveling with birth certificate. So the cost of if you're going to do like a emergency passport, I think it'll cost you like about $420 for an emergency passport per person. And that emergency passport is only good for 15 days. So you didn't want to spend 140 for a 10-year passport, but now you got to spend 420 for a 15-day passport, and you still got to get your passport down the road. So you're spending extra money right there. So at least get your passport, and get your travel insurance. I do agree with some of my content creators that I've talked to. Cruise lines should start saying that they should have travel insurance and passport in hand in order to cruise, because lately there's been instances where you have people without a passport and they had travel insurance, but they didn't have a passport to get back home. Or if for whatever reason you're on port and you're a pier runner, hey Eddie, you're a pier runner, then now you're stuck in a foreign country. Even though that I don't know if most of you guys know this, but when you're traveling on a cruise, even if you leave your passport inside of your cabin in your safe in your cabin, the cruise, a crew member or somebody from the cruise will go get your passport and all your medication and things like that, whatever is your essential stuff, and they will leave them at the port with some security port person, for when you come back, you at least have that with you to be able to get out of their country. So keep in mind that if something like that were to happen, you at least have, you don't have to worry about, your passport. I usually leave my passport on board. I don't like to travel I like to travel with my passport, but I always leave it inside the cabin. I don't like to take it with me, because if something were to happen or somebody takes my backpack or whatever, at least I have my passport safe. I know a lot of people that are in the channel, because I know Eddie was talking about it this morning on their show this morning. He travels with his passport in his pocket at all times, which is good. Everybody's different. It's just but I think I'm going to start doing probably the same thing with everything going on. But oh, look, Scott said he takes a photocopy. That's also a good thing to take a photocopy. But like like I was saying, travel protection is always good. Keep in mind, guys, that when you're going to a foreign country, just keep in mind what you do. You're there as a vacation. You're there to have a good time, but you also have to have an understanding that they have their laws, and their laws are different than here in the American country. Always put a copy on your phone. That is true, Michael. That's it. Hey, Cruise Nuts, welcome in. How are you today? But it's just like, when I go on a cruise, 90% of the time I do a cruise excursion. I feel that, if you go on a cruise excursion, something happens, the ship has to wait for you to come back or whatever, and you're protected by that. If you're going to do an excursion outside of the cruise, just always keep in mind coming back in time, making sure that whatever excursion is that you're going to do is not going to be something that you're going to have, some kind of emergency or something happening to you, like these ladies did, that they rented a scooter. I'll be honest, I personally would not rent a scooter in a foreign country because I don't know what their driving habits are. Even though I've driven in Puerto Rico, and that's crazy as it is, but I've gone there as a for 6 days or a whole week. I'm not going on a cruise and then just going to get a car and rent. And even though I could, because I know how they drive over there, but like if you're in Mexico and Cayman Islands, Bahamas or something, I don't know, what their driving it is or how the streets are to even try something like that. That's my personal opinion. So it's just a matter of being cautious. You already spent enough money, to go on this vacation. You saved, all this time, and you count on the days to go on a vacation. Just make sure you're safe and you're doing the proper things and taking care of yourself. Make sure that, you have travel protection, that you have your passport. If you're going to do excursions, and if you're an expert on cruising and you do outside excursions and you already know how everything works, I'm cool with that. You do whatever you got to do. But I never recommend excursions outside of the cruise to new cruisers, because they might not know how to work, how the cruising world works. And could you imagine, you send somebody out there as a new cruiser, they went out and bought their own excursions, or they decided to get out the port. Somebody says, hey, for $25, we'll take you to the beach and back, whatever. And for whatever reason, they didn't get there on time or whatever, the cruise left them. Could you imagine as a travel agent getting that phone call? I'm stuck, in the Bahamas and Cayman Islands or wherever, and I don't have a passport to get back home. I don't have, travel insurance. I don't have, it just gets crazy. Like right now, this past Saturday, I had one of the clients from Expedia called in, and he was at the port of Port Canaveral. He called, and I could tell on his voice something was wrong immediately as soon as I said hello. And he's like, well, I'm calling because I need to talk to my agent. I'm here at the Port Canaveral. Mind you, it was about almost 5 o'clock when the phone call came in. And he's like, the cruise ship left me. And I'm like, what do you mean the cruise ship left you? And he goes, yeah, I got here at about 4:30. And I'm like, why did you get to the port at 4:30? I said, what time does the cruise supposed to leave? He goes, it's supposed to leave at 4. And I said, so why are you getting there at 4:30? He goes, well, nobody told me what time I was supposed to get to the port. He had not done the check-in. He didn't do any of that information according to what he was saying. He had no idea. So he got there late because he didn't know how to get to the port. And when you try to assist that person at that point in time, they lost all their vacation. All you're getting back is port taxes and fees. He had no travel protection. He had, it was chaotic for him. And I felt horrible, hi, Cruising with Keys, welcome in. I felt horrible, just hearing, and I could hear the kids in the back. So it was like a family vacation. And when I hear those things, it's like, it makes me sad, because it's like every time as a travel agent, I hear somebody saying it's my first cruise, I make sure that I give them, information on how to do their check-in, send them the link, make sure they do their check-in. And as time is coming by, I always send an email like about 15 days before the cruise, or a text message saying, hey, Don't forget that you need to check in for your cruise. Your cruise leaves out of this port, especially when they're new. If you're already a cruiser and you've been cruising for a long time, I'm not going to repeat all of that because there's stuff that you already know. But if there's something that you need help with, I always tell them, ask, call, ask, because you never know. You want to make sure that they know the proper information. But it's just been crazy when I've been hearing the news about these ladies and what they have to go through to get back to the United States. It's insane. Thank you so much, Eddie. Thank you so much. And please, all, if you guys like this live stream and this content, please hit that like button. I appreciate you, Eddie, for that. And if you're a content creator, just hashtag TWT and so that your channel will be up here in the chat. But yeah, it's just insane, the stuff that I've been hearing lately. Is like people with no travel insurance, people traveling with no passport. And it's okay, you don't have to get a passport, but it's always good to have it, because if you go to a foreign country and you're stuck over there, at least you can come back and not have to spend $420 for a 15-day passport, where you could have saved some money by just paying the $140. So it's just like, I've been looking at the news, peeps, and it's been crazy. I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with all these people not getting all their information? But things like that happen. I just wish that the ladies are better. They're now in the hospital, and I just wish them, well, and hopefully they can get better soon and they can get their life back in track. And hopefully that this experience did not kind of like leave a bad taste in their mouth about cruising. I hope that they really enjoy the experience, that once they get better and they're able to, that they can go back on a cruise and enjoy that cruise life. Like, I've been cruising for like 10 years now, and I still remember my first cruise. And ever since I remember stepping on to that first cruise, which it was the Enchantment of the Seas on Royal Caribbean, I just never looked back. I sometimes look back and I said, I wish I could have started cruising earlier in life and not have waited so late in life. But it is what it is. I've done so many cruises now that I'm just like happy that I love cruising. I love the whole cruise lifestyle. I enjoy meeting new friends. I enjoy talking to new people. You go on these excursions and you sit next to a complete stranger. You just start having a conversation. Next thing you know, you guys become friends. Next thing you know, you're traveling together. It's one of those, it's cruising. I don't know. It's so different than just getting on a plane and flying. I did that last week. I got on a plane to go see my dad in Puerto Rico, and it was my husband and I. We didn't talk to anybody. It was just sitting there. We got there, we visited with my dad, and then we got back. I might have met maybe a couple of people because I vlogged over there, and that was it. But in cruising, you can meet so many people in cruising. You could sit around, when you're having dinner, and even if you have a table for two, there's people to your right, there's people to your left. You're always talking to people. Hey, Margot. Margot says she's sorry I'm late. I'm going on a cruise with my mom, and I brought her insurance for our cruise behind her back, so she is covered. She swears Medicare will cover her for our Canada and New England. I agree with you. I'm so glad that you did that for your mom, Margot, because if something happens, at least in your heart that she's covered. Look, Scott McNeil says he took his first cruise in 1986. What ship did you take in 1986, Scott? What was your first cruise? But yeah, it's so much fun to cruise because you got, like I said, people to your right, people to your left. And if you're on a show, you got people around you. You just talk to everybody, and everybody's so nice. You find everybody so relaxed, and it's so different. Like, when you go to the airport, you could sit there. Nobody talks to you, until the airplane comes in. You don't see anybody talking to anybody unless they're talking amongst themselves. Scott was on the Love Boat. I love that, Margot. So it's so different than cruising, to be honest with you. And I noticed that now when I went on the airplane, like a few weeks ago, it's like you just sit there, you wait for the plane, you board the plane, you leave the plane, you didn't talk to anybody, nothing. And on a cruise, at least, you talk to so many different people from all over the world, and you meet so many great crew members from all over the world. It's just crazy how the cruise life works. Okay, Scott said that he went on the NCL Sunward. I've never heard of that too. I guess that ship is no longer in service. The best thing about cruising, says Cruising with Keys, is you meet people from everywhere. If it leaves from New York, most people on the ship aren't from the local port. I do agree with that, Keith. A lot of people do fly up to New York. And you know what I've heard from a lot of my clients? A lot of people like to go out of New York just because of, not only because you're leaving out of New York, but for the fact that you can see the Statue of Liberty and that area as you're leaving port, which is completely different than, I guess, when you're in Miami or Tampa, Port Canaveral, any other port. So a lot of people like that port just because of that port experience, and because they get to at least spend a day or two before they leave on their cruise in New York. So it's kind of like going to Seattle for Alaska. A lot of people like to go to Seattle for 2 days ahead so that they can enjoy all that Seattle has to offer. They get on their ship and then they go back home, which I think is great. For a lot of people that do that, I think that's really cool. You kind of like kill two birds with one stone, because you're going to kind of see a little bit for 2 days and then you get on your cruise and enjoy. It's like that cruise that was leaving for the 30 days that didn't get to go to Alaska because of all the stuff going on. I guess there was a storm or something going on up there, and now they're going to be at sea like for 10 straight days. I would have been like, here you go, you spend like 30 days, you spend all this money, and now at least I think it was like 3 ports that they're going to miss in Alaska, but they gained some ports in Japan. I think that's where they were going. So in a way, they lost some in some, but I will be happy, even though I've never been to Alaska. But if I gain some ports in Japan, I think that would be great, because at least they're ports that I wasn't planning on seeing. But one of my trips that I want to do is definitely, I want to go to Alaska. I have a client right now in Alaska, and he is loving it. It's his first time, and he called me today. He goes, "Oh my God, this is so amazing," and he is having the time of his life up there in Alaska. So I'm very happy for him. And I told him, I don't want to know about it yet, because I want to go over there. I want to be able to. But yeah, I know that even if people tell you, it's not the same when you see it. I've heard it all the time. But yeah, going back, they lost 2 ports in a scenic day in Alaska. Yeah, I felt so bad. I know I gotta come see you, Margot, when I come over there. We'll figure something out. When I book it and all, I'll call you and we'll figure something out so I can come spend some time with you up there. But yeah, it's just crazy how, things happen, things change. I know this Hurricane Lee is up there by Boston area right now and doing some kind of stuff over there as we speak, and a lot of stuff has been changing because of that. But it is what it is. Sometimes, you gotta stay safe. But yeah, going back to travel insurance, guys, make sure that whatever you do, keep in mind, even if you buy a cheap travel insurance, at least make sure it protects you, for what you need. Even if it's basic, like I said at the beginning of this live, I do the yearly one, but I do a family yearly plan, because I do travel a lot, and I just make sure that if just in case my kids have to travel, they're covered for the rest of the year. So hopefully, I do it with Alliance or Allianz, depending on how you guys say it. So I do the yearly with them. And so far, I've never had a problem. This is my 2nd year renewing with them. So I've never had a problem, but I've never had to put a claim, thank God. So that's a good thing. Also, we were talking about passports. Make sure you guys get your passport. It's only like $140 to get your passport for 10 years. And then you can leave the country. You can go to Europe and all of that. Just keep in mind that next year, I don't know if a lot of people know, but next year you're going to have to get a visa in order to travel to Europe. So keep that in mind. So if you're planning on going to Europe next year, you're going to have to get a visa for that. I was just helping one of my clients last week. They're going to Turkey, and for them, for there, they need a special visa. So we were working on that last week. So that was very interesting, to finding all that information and stuff like that. Because a lot of people think that because you're going on a cruise, the cruise provides it, and sometimes they don't. Margot says, sometimes I found out if anyone is doing extreme sports, zip lining, scuba diving, you may need an addendum. Yep, you sure do. If you're doing like zip lining and all of that, you need an addendum for that, because if something were to happen and that's not part of your insurance, you're not covered. And that alone is a little bit of extra money if you think about it. That alone, it gives you it's a little bit of extra money, because one of the years I did a lot of zip lining and I needed an extra addendum added, and I think I paid like $150 extra just to have that added for that year, because I don't know why I went zip lining crazy one year. I did in one cruise, I think we were doing a 14-day. We did a 14-day Carnival Journeys cruise on the Carnival Breeze. And weirdly so, not sure why, my daughter and I decided that I think we were going on 9 ports, and 7 of them we did zip lining. And I think it was a total of like 28 different types of zip linings. We did some that were sitting, we did some that were flying, and then we did some that were from like tree to tree to tree until you got to the other side. And it was kind of like there was a platform. You ended up on a platform in a jungle, and there was nothing but trees underneath you, and you were just standing on platforms from one side to. It was really cool. It was a really cool experience. What was weird, it was one of the ladies that went with us. She did all the zip linings. It was about 8 zip linings on top of platforms through the jungle. And then the big zip lining, she didn't want to do. I'm like, you went through all of that and you didn't want to do the last zip lining? But there's a kind of like a ladder that you can go down. And she decided not to do the 2-miler one. So we did a 2-mile zip line, because that was the big one. That's the end when you get to the other side. So that was really cool. They ended up having to call somebody to come pick her up. So she came down the ladder thing, and somebody was meeting her in a car, and they took her to where the final zip line was. So that was really cool. That was like a Superman zip lining. The only thing that I really didn't like was the fact that when we were zip lining, it started raining. So you're going about 60, 70 miles per hour easily flying through the sky on the zip line thing. And as the water's hitting your face, it was hurting, because it was. But I'll put it in one of these days on the vlog so you guys can see it. It was a lot of fun, and I had to find that vlog, but I know I have it. It was a lot of fun. So, but we ended up having to do an addendum for that, because we did a lot of zip lining that year. I'm sorry. But that's a good point, Margot. Thank you for letting everybody know about that. But yeah. Right now, there's nothing new in cruising, like specials or anything like that. I was looking at online. The only thing that is the talk of the day is that Utopia floated out for the first time. So she's now in the water. So that's a good thing. That means that Utopia is on its way, to getting passengers soon. I know the big thing right now that Royal Caribbean is working right now is with Icon of the Seas. Because Icon's inaugural cruise is January 27 of 2024. So Icon is going to be coming. That's their biggest thing right now that they're working on is with the Icon of the Seas, and then after that is going to be Utopia, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. If for those of you that like Norwegian Viva is going to Puerto Rico soon. So that's going to be another ship that is going to be over there, and that's going to be porting out of San Juan, which is really nice. I'm very happy that Puerto Rico got to have a brand new ship. That is really nice to know that the Norwegian put a brand new ship like that of that caliber in San Juan. So that's going to be good. And talking about the Viva, Eddie's here right now. Hopefully, he's still around. He has a group cruise on the Viva. So if you guys are interested in something like that, get with Eddie for that information. I'm working right now on doing the first traveling with Tinkerbell group cruise. So that information is coming on that soon. We're just tweaking on some information. Welcome in, cruising on the high seas and travel. How are you? Nice to have you here today. But yeah, we're working on that. Oh, look who popped up. Hold on. Let me add my BFF. Hold on. He's coming hot and loaded with information because he has a secret to tell you. So with no further ado, here he comes. There you go. How are you, Eddie?
Hot and loaded is right.
Didn't
I
I?
had a big dinner, so I'm loaded.
Well, Eddie, tell us a little bit about your two, because now I hear that you have not one. You're the man of the secrets. Like you have not one, but you got two secrets.
Two secrets. Yes,
So,
yes, you will
so
play.
go ahead and tell everybody about your two secrets.
With the first one, it's Living Out of Tampa on October 28, 2024, on the Carnival Paradise. It's going to be a 6-day cruise, leaving Tampa, going to Key West, Montego Bay, and Grand Cayman. Please get in touch with Bruce for any information and cabin things to do. Tinkerbell will be there with us.
That's right.
The guys from the Go Live Together show, Jeremy, Cheryl, and Scott will be there with me also. Cruise
That's
Nut,
right.
hopefully Bill, Scott from Controversial Cruising. House of X will be there taking care of some activities. Elegant Nights during the cruise, and also Mike and Rihanna are in charge of group cruise on Facebook. That you can find all the information you need.
Right.
Also coming along, it's their first cruise ever, so definitely it's gonna be a fun time for them and
Yeah.
for us to kick them around. we're, we're gonna grab Mike and throw him overboard.
I know, right?
So he knows what it feels like being a new cruiser.
I
And
know.
so,
That's gonna be a lot of fun. I think I'm in charge of the slot pool, so
yes, you are.
I'm gonna be putting some information on that. Well,
Very
hello,
good.
Miss Alice. How are you?
Bru- Bruce from Ocean to Ocean Travel will also be there with his wife Cindy. I'm hoping the Clark Family Adventure will be there also, and many more. So it's going to
That's
be an
right.
excellent cruise. That's in October 28, 2024 on the Carnival Paradise, leaving out of Tampa. We're going to get to meet Destination Fun and Sherry and Danny on that weekend,
That's
and
right.
some other people will be there also. And the following cruise will be on the Norwegian Viva, brand new ship, January 26, 2025, celebrating my 60th birthday, which I'm hoping to have a great time. It's a 7-day cruise with 7 ports. One
Right.
of them is twice, so you get like 8 ports for the price of 7.
Right.
Living out of San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Woo!
Yo. Oh,
Look at that.
we got a neighbor here, one of my daughters.
He got excited.
Yeah, yeah, she did. Yeah,
She
she's
went to pack her bag. She's
yeah,
ready to go.
she's messing with me. We're gonna go to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, the ABC Islands, San Lucia, St. Kitts, and back to Puerto Rico. That's what I say. It's like 8 ports on a 7-day cruise. No sea days. This is land to land to land to have a great time, enjoy, plenty to do, plenty to visit.
Yeah.
Also, do you know that the Viva has a 3-tier racetrack?
I
In it?
know.
So,
We're gonna beat you on that racetrack.
no, no,
I'm gonna pass by you with all my pixie
Yeah.
dust.
We're gonna be like in Mario Karts,
I know, right?
smoking. I'm gonna
But
throw
do you
them
know?
bananas.
And for those of you that don't know, yeah, you're on the track, but there's people outside of the track on the top deck that if they shoot your light thingy, they can slow you down. So I'm gonna make sure I'll pay a lot of people. You see that guy? Slow him down.
Not gonna happen. I disguise myself when I get on the track. I become a whole different person. You're gonna see me.
Oh Lord.
You're gonna see me on a walker all week, and then all of a sudden on the track, I don't have a walker, so watch out.
Oh Lord.
No mercy. I put on gloves, my face mask, helmet on top,
And boom.
and out of the way. No mercy.
Oh my God.
Hmm.
Look, Alice says she'll be filming the Viva race.
I become Mary Andretti.
Oh my God.
Right, yeah.
Also, real quick, Eddie, I just want to congratulate Cruising with Keith on his 500 subscribers. So that's a good milestone. Keith, I'm very happy for you. Congratulations and wish you the very best. You're halfway there, Keith. Just keep on going.
I keep telling him it was a little tough to get to 500 to get to 1K. Now you really got to work your butt off. So I'm making some paisano lasagna.
I know, right?
Because it's gonna be fun.
Keith, you never know. Maybe we could go on this Viva and we could celebrate both our 1,000 subscribers together.
I hope Tinkerbell will show what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm working on that, Eddie. I'll get back with you on that because I'm checking to see some dates and stuff. Because I know it was so weird for those of you guys that don't know this. When Eddie came out with that information, I was like, wait a minute, that's the same cruise I'm supposed to be on because it's my dad's 75th birthday. And he lives in Puerto Rico. So I was trying, when I was in Puerto Rico, we're talking about it. And here comes Eddie. I'm like, hey, you never know. So I'm hoping that to be there. I'm just working it out with my dad and stuff.
We were thinking, I always wanted to go to Spain. And one thing I wanted to do for my 60th birthday was to go to Spain. But doing some research, there's a lot of walking trails. There's a lot of steps. There's a lot of stuff that is going to be very hard for me to go and really enjoy a real good time over there. So we just kept looking around, and I know that we have a credit for NCL before the end of 2025 to use it. So Alice happened to be doing some research and stuff, and all of a sudden she goes, I found it. I went like, what did you find? I looked over and she's talking about she's talking about the NCL Viva, and I went like, the who? Because we're going on the Prima this January. So definitely the Viva next year in January will be sweet. Another NCL, and also one of the newer ships.
Right.
So she says, here's the trip. She tells me the whole thing about it quickly. I was happy to be talking to Bruce online. I said, listen, write these dates down. This ship in this port.
That was me over
here. Wait a
minute.
I got some audio going on over here.
But yeah, I'm like, it's just crazy with the dates.
And then Bruce came back and I said, search on it. He comes back a few days later, says to me, your group is set up. I'm like, my what? Your group is set up. We're going, baby.
Hey, yeah, that's good going. Though. Yeah, right now I'm working to getting the first traveling with Tinkerbell group. It's going to be for 2025, but I think it's going to be sometime. I'm looking either April, beginning of May, but I don't want it to be like other Mother's Day either, because a lot of people spend time with their moms. So I'm trying to work that out to see what's the best, because you got to get good ports. The good thing about yours that yours is port intensive, which is a port every day. That's right. But see, you didn't get what you're going to get in Viva. You couldn't get in Spain because you're going to get a racetrack. See, you couldn't get that in Spain. So see, now the question is, if the content creators that are going, if we all decide to go on this cruise, we got to go on that racetrack all together and beat Eddie.
Come for the tears. Come for the applause. Come over.
Oh my God. Cruising on the high seas. He says, Alice, I'll pay you to slow Eddie down and make him come in last. I'm gonna have to bring a lot of pixie dust for my
and some extra wings.
Make sure it flies.
There's some Red Bull when you get in the
I know, right?
Go-kart, drink the Red Bull. So you get your wings.
And it's so much fun because I did that on the Viva, Eddie, when I went for the premiere on the Viva. I'm not on the Viva, I'm sorry, on the Prima. And that was one of the things that I wanted to do. But we did it at night and we did it at a sea day. So
Ooh.
it was so much fun. But what I didn't know is that there was people up in the top floors with these little things, and they if they hit your car, like the beam, it'll slow you down. It'll go in red, and then you kind of go slow. So
The thing is that people they're gonna be hitting me in the back because I'm gonna
yeah.
be blocking everybody. If they slow me down, as you're coming behind me, you're gonna go boom, smack me, and then they're gonna let me go,
Oh my
and then you're the
God.
one stuck behind with everybody else while I'm taking off.
We're gonna put Eddie. We're gonna tell him, okay, Eddie's gonna be the last car in the back. Well, the fastest lap time has already been announced, and it goes to me. Ooh, ooh.
Oh,
What was your lap
ooh.
time? What was your lap time cruising on the high seas? I wonder what his lap time. I don't even remember what number I came in on the Prima, to be honest with you. I didn't even look at that. I just had a great time doing it. It was so much fun.
I
It's,
broke records on the Bliss, Norwegian Bliss. That's where, and it's a two platform. This one's three,
this
so
one
it's
is
even
three.
better.
Yeah, and
Even
you go
better.
up and down and all. It's so amazing, right? Like what the
Yes.
things that they're putting on these cruises. What would you ever thought that you have a racetrack on a cruise ship?
Back in the 80s and 90s, and those little ships that I was in compared to now. I haven't
Right,
been on a Carnival cruise in 30 years. This is my first time now in October. The Alice is going to be her first cruising ever in Carnival. This is going to be
right.
my first in 30 years. So it's so much of a difference
Mhm.
between then and now. Back then, it was what, 6 decks maybe, the highest, and they were not, casinos were huge on
Right.
those ships. They even have you have to wear a tuxedo to go to a formal night.
I
Uh,
didn't they have like an area where you can rent the tuxedos at?
yes,
Right?
yes.
They used to have that kind
Yep.
of stuff.
They had a shotguns in the back of the ship to shoot
Oh yeah, that's
some kind
true.
of boat
For
that they
the
used to send
play
out.
thingy, right?
Yeah,
I
they used to
remember
do
that.
all that stuff too crazy on a
Oh,
sea
look,
day.
cruising on the high sea. He said he can do it in less than 1.5 minutes.
The whole track, I don't think so. I don't think so.
What are you putting in there? Because you're not using my pixie dust, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
and that's it's not a one track, and that's it. It's 8 laps on a big track.
Right. Because
So yeah,
it's you'd be surprised how big that track is when you
yes,
see it.
yeah.
Like a lot of people say, oh, it might be a little, but it's not little because I remember
Oh,
the Prima was 3 floors and that just kept going and going. I'm like, gee,
yeah,
but it was a lot
the
of fun.
bliss is 2 floors, and it was excellent. 8 laps
Yeah,
of pleasure. I mean,
yeah.
I loved it. I mean, Alice got in after the second lap. She got out. She couldn't hack it the way I was driving. There was a family of Russian in it too, and I bumped them all out of the way. If somebody said to me, "Slow down" or whatever, I didn't hear nothing. I was just on a mission.
Eddie, he said that is per lap, 1.5 minutes per
Oh,
lap.
okay,
Okay.
sure. We'll see.
So
We'll see
Eddie,
when the time
now you got
comes.
to start training on your lawnmower thing. Start training for like at least 1.2 so you can beat them.
Yes, yes, it is. Yeah, I've been doing laps
I know,
on my
right?
machine. That's how I cut the grass. So
That's
definitely,
crazy.
from the outside, then I go into the
Oh
inside
my
and start going
God.
out.
You could prep your lawnmower to do all sorts of cool
Boom,
stuff.
boom, boom. It's an 8 cylinder, 450 horsepower.
Alice is
Watch
like,
out.
Eddie likes to cut the grass lately. Oh my God.
But
So that
talking
is,
about cutting the grass, this weekend coming up, if it doesn't rain,
oh my
I'm going
God.
out there too.
If it
Yeah.
doesn't rain, right? That's right. Because
Yeah.
Scott is
Yeah.
over there freezing himself.
Lately, it's been a few drops coming. I say, oh,
Yeah.
Saturday I'm gonna go, and then Saturday morning gets cloudy, and then some rain comes down. It's like forget about it.
Yeah, over here it's like in almost in the 90s now because we're starting to go into the fall season, but it's still hot.
Ooh, 90s. Oh,
Yeah.
it's 70 right now here in Georgia, and I'm
Oh,
new to
look,
you guys.
Cruising with Key says I race 4 times a week. Each day I do 4 times 25 laps. Hmm, that's pretty interesting.
Ooh, nice.
So Eddie, you're gonna have to figure it out.
Don't worry, I got my ways to get.
But I
I'm not
think
gonna
if
I'm
I'm
not
not,
gonna tell anybody how I do it. So
that's right. If I'm not mistaken, I think he said he couldn't go on that cruise. So I think you'll be good. Calling muscles. Oh, it's 52 over there in Alaska. Oh, look at that. Alaska is 52 where Margot is at.
nice weather.
That is nice.
Nice weather.
I don't like to be in the cold, so I'm good here in Florida, but it's getting nicer now. It's
So
not that hot.
it's getting comfortable here. Finally getting comfortable. But it gets cold here in the Atlanta area. Goes down to
Oh
the trees.
my God. Look who's here, Danny.
Oh yeah, trouble,
Hey, Danny.
trouble. Trouble follows me.
Well, that's a good thing. She's always there when you're on the live, so that's a good thing.
Trouble tripping me. I'm not gonna say.
Cruising with Key says, what temper is usually during Thanksgiving in Tampa? I'll be honest with you. Sometimes we're in the 90s. You're in Tampa. It doesn't start getting hot. I'm sorry, cold. Sometimes after Christmas, like January, it starts getting cold. And
Yes.
between the end of January, like mid-January, end of January, we might get like 20 degrees maybe. And then February, it's like if it's spring season, like boom, like in 2 weeks. That's it.
Yep.
Oh, the butt files are here. Hello.
Hey, bud.
Welcome in.
I
But yeah,
remember one time I was working for Pizza Hut, and my mother, somebody left the phone on hang the wrong way in the
okay.
kitchen. So 2 o'clock in the morning, it's 23 degrees outside. I don't have a ride.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I walked home at 2 o'clock in the morning, 23 degrees. I didn't have a jacket. I didn't have a hoodie.
Oh my
Nothing with me.
God. You
All I
are
had was
crazy.
my apron from work. So I used that as like a cape, and it took me about an hour to get to the house.
Gee.
Yeah. And then when I got home, I checked the phone. I see that was not put on the right way. And then
Oh,
the guy that walked with me, then we got in my car to go take him home, and then I back home. So, but yeah,
okay.
and it was in sometime in January. So I will never forget that.
Wow. Cruising with Keith, he said that he's coming to visit family and he decided not to cruise. Well, if you come over here, let me know and I'll be more than happy. We can meet up and maybe have some lunch or dinner or something. I would
The
love
good
to.
thing, yeah, and the good thing about that weather is even though it's 90, it's not that humid, but
Yeah,
it's nice. I don't know about the Tampa area. I used to live in North Miami Beach,
yeah,
south, so it wasn't too bad
yeah. It
down
does.
there.
The humidity is very different during that time.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Makes it a lot nicer.
I know. Hey guys, real quick, because I don't know if a lot of you guys know. Hey, Mike and Rihanna, how are you? Welcome in. If a lot of you guys don't know, after my show, you have the night show with Eddie and Jay. Wait, Cruising is Fun and the Muster Drill. What is it called?
Jealous.
I'm not used to
Uh,
that new show.
Go live together after dark.
After dark. So it's at 8 o'clock. So when you
Yes.
leave here, log in over there and just let them know Traveling with Tinkerbell and Eddie Lugo sent you there, even though Eddie's gonna be there.
Yeah, I'll be there. Ticket the raid.
So
That's
look,
right.
Alice is talking to Cruising on the High Seas. Oh, he'll be on the Prima in January 2024 and on the
That's
Viva.
us. We're gonna be on the Prima in January.
Okay.
This January 26th, the same date,
Oh,
2025. But we're going to Western Caribbean in this January coming up, and then next year we're going to the Southern Caribbean on the
nice.
Viva,
Okay.
and then
Welcome in,
hopefully,
Fearless Rambler. Thank
hey
you so much
George,
for
what's
stopping
up?
by.
Hopefully, the following year, 26, the Aqua will be out, and hopefully that will be our next.
That'll be your next one. You
Yeah.
want to do them all the new ones?
Oh yeah, that's
Oh, wait a minute.
four of them coming out.
Is Mike and Rihanna going on the Wonder of the Sea for 2025? Is that what
Oh,
he's
there's I'm part of that group, also group cruise, 2025
whose
with
group is that? Is that
uh,
their group?
Cone Orange Plug has the Rock and
For
Roll
the rock
Tribute
and roll
Concerts.
thing. Got you. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm
Cone
part
Orange
of it too.
Blogs has the Wonder of the Seas for 2025. So look at that, guys. You guys have a lot of different cruising to choose from.
It's gonna be
Oh,
the week after Thanksgiving in November, and it's gonna be an awesome cruise. Four bands, tribute bands, are gonna be there. Six shows. It's gonna be plenty to do because the concerts will be in the afternoon,
right.
and then shows, the Broadway shows from Royal Caribbean will be in the evening at nighttime. So it's
That's
gonna
gonna be awesome.
plenty,
Yeah, you gotta have plenty to do.
plenty of stuff to do on
And
a
that ship
wonderful
is
season.
really nice. That
Yes.
Wonder of the Seas is really nice. I have it on my channel for the vlogs. I remember that conversation you and I had because you didn't know that I was opening the channel. I remember you had told me about it, and but it's really nice. That ship, if you've never been, at least try to go on it once. It's so pretty inside. It's just beautiful, and it has so much like all the shows, especially that water show. That's really nice. It's all women. So I had a wonderful time on Wonder of the Seas. I'm looking forward to getting on the Icon eventually. I'm going to try out the Icon, that monster of a of a ship, and check it out because that thing is huge.
Now the Utopia is out too.
Hmm.
It's already floating, so it'll be out in July 2024. So
The good thing about Utopia that it's going to have those 3 4 day cruises. So for whoever likes the the short kind of cruises, I think that's going to be a really good thing for the people that like the 3 and 4 day cruise. I'm not a 3 and 4 day cruiser,
me
but
neither.
just to try out Utopia, I might just go to Bahamas and check out the new port as well. So
Yes.
I'll try the Utopia and I get to see the new port as well.
17, you could always do a back to back, 3 day and a 4 day, or four
Yeah,
day, 3 day, because you're
yeah,
gonna go back to Port Canaveral, back to Nassau, Nassau back to Port
back
Canaveral.
right. But that's the only reason why I would try just to put it out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you, Alice. I like 7 days. 14 days is good. 14 days I've done.
14 days is great.
Yeah, it's ain't it
14 days,
cool
yeah.
when Saturday comes and you don't got to get off the ship and you're like, oh my God, this is so different. But the
And
day,
then by the following Saturday, I'm ready to go home.
yeah,
I'm
and
like
it's
satisfied and everything.
what is good about it that it's like it gives you plenty of time to get to see the ship and enjoy everything. Like you don't have that hurry thing that you
The
always
first week is always slower for some reason. First week is slower, then the second week moves a little faster because you've done a bunch of stuff already. But I believe, I feel that the first week is slow and the second week is faster. And then to me, by the time the Friday comes, I'm settled, I'm good. By the time Saturday comes before the vacation day, I'm ready to go home. And the vacation day comes, and I'm happy as you can be.
have.
I'm not complaining or saying to myself, "Oh, that this trip was too short. I wish I would stay longer." But yes,
Yeah,
I like
it's
that in
really
14 days.
yeah, 14 is good. I've never done the 21 yet, but I've done 14 and I really enjoy 14 to be honest with you. It's a perfect time set.
Yeah,
I don't know about the 3. The 3 and 4, I find that you pack and then you just don't even
yeah,
unpack because you're getting off the ship
yeah.
immediately.
In and out. Yep.
In and out. Yeah. You slept the one night, boom, out the door you go the next day.
That's
So
right. Yeah, that's what I bet is what it feels like to me. That's how I
yeah,
feel on a 7 day. And no, forget about it. No, three,
yeah.
4 days. No.
Yeah, in 7 days, now that I'm a content creator, it's like you try to vlog as much as you can, and you don't even have time for everything that is going on. You got to split yourself into a couple of people.
Yes.
Yeah, Mike and Rihanna says 7 days is good. Mike, how would you know if you haven't been on one?
We'll find out soon enough.
I know Mike is gonna go on that cruise, and he's like, "Why did I lose all this time?"
Yeah,
Cruising with
they're gonna get home.
Well, cruising on the high seas 21 is better. I've never done 21. And then cruising with Key says I have 2 cruises from Miami. One is an 8 day, Saturday to Sunday, and I can enjoy Miami. When are you going on Miami? I'm going out of Miami next month on an 8 day cruise. Yeah, Eddie's gonna be going on his group cruise the day before, no, the day after. I leave the 28, you leave the 29, right?
Yes.
So I'd be leaving first, like for one day, and they're going on their group. I wish I would have known. I would have gone on that one. I wish I would have known ahead of time. But it's okay. I get to see everybody next year.
I wasn't looking into anything, and then all of a sudden I heard start seeing comments and group cruise, Halloween cruise. I'm like, wait a minute. So my curiosity started like itching me, like go check it out. And then I start seeing that so many creators getting together. So like, wait a minute, I might need to get into this one. And I got in their Zoom call, kind of sneaking into their Zoom call, heard the whole thing. I say, oh, I'm in. I said, Bruce, hook me up.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm in it. So
Yeah, it's like cruising with Keys. That's going to be on the horizon. That's where I'm going to be next month on the Carnival Horizon, an 8-day cruise to Aruba, Curacao, La Romana, and Amber Cove.
cool.
That's going to be a lot of fun. We're celebrating my daughter's 15th birthday, so that's going to be a lot of fun. But like I said, once we finish here in the next 4.5 minutes, oh my God, look who's going to show up here real quick. How you been?
Pretty good. Technically, the cruise is also for my 21st birthday, but it's mostly for Sophie.
Yeah, because he's going to be 21 next month. So it's a lot of birthdays.
Can you guys
He,
believe
he becomes legal.
I know, right? Oh, look, Cruising with Keith says he has the same itinerary. But yeah, guys, in a little bit, go to oh my God, what is this thing called again, Eddie? I forget. The night
Go live together.
Go Live
After
Together
dark.
After Dark. It's at 8:00. Please
Yes,
go visit
right.
Eddie, Cheryl, Jeremy, and the Mustard Drill over there. They're gonna have a great show. I enjoyed it last week. I had a lot of fun. I always watch the morning show, and I just be laughing at everything with the bananas and everything that goes on.
Doesn't know how to read stuff, so he goes.
I know. So if you guys wanted to have a good time as well, go check them out, and you guys are gonna have a great time. Just let them know Eddie and Tinkerbell sent you over there. But yeah, Eddie's full of secrets. You know, you never know what you're gonna hear from Eddie. So
We'll be talking about it on the next show. So
yeah. So Eddie's cruise is in January 2025. Looks really good. Yeah, Mike, you should get on that one too. That's 2025. Trust and believe. When you get off the Paradise, you're gonna want to go on the next day. You want to go on another one.
that's right. Yep.
It's crazy. It's like, I don't know about you, Eddie, but I count my days. Like I have a calendar.
I try not to. I try to just let it flow because I know it's gonna get here, and the more anxious I get, the worse. So I just let it happen.
Yeah.
It's like I haven't even packed anything yet. I packed the day before.
Yeah.
You know, and we just gotta make sure that we have insurance, we have the Wi-Fi, we have everything set in place before we go anywhere. And then after that, just let it get here.
Yeah.
But don't forget insurance.
Journeys with the June and Brady are in. Welcome in. And Cruising with Keys, I guess he wants to tell you something. And he says Queen Pizza is better.
No, 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 no. Nothing like Brooklyn, baby.
Okay, so wait a minute. Cruising on the High Sea says Eddie is on my cruise in 39 days.
That's why he says 39 days. Yep. Because it's planned the day
guys,
before.
and don't forget that cruise for 2025 on the Viva, that's an Alice Lugo Studios group cruise.
That's right.
See? I forgot to say that.
Thank you, Tinkerbell.
It does on the video that Mike and Rihanna made for that cruise. It says that Eddie and
I know. I was like, yes.
I wanted to kick him in the behind when I saw that, but I said, oh, well.
Well, look at what happened yesterday at Disney. We had a lost bear.
I saw him on top of the monorail flying around.
I know. He just wanted to be part of the animal kingdom. So I don't know. I wonder if they took him over there because I've never seen a bear in that area. So
yeah, that's kind of weird. So, hey, escape from somebody's house. Who knows?
I had a person send me a picture with a country bear. He says, I found them. I thought that was funny.
Oh my God. Well, my dear, I'm gonna let you go.
Okay.
I need to go over there. And
I'll see you in a little bit.
Everybody, thank you for popping in. See you all in a bit.
All righty.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye. I see you later, Alice.
Bye.
So yeah, guys, check out Going Live After Dark. It's going to be starting here in about 30 seconds. So I'm going to let you guys go check us out over there. I'll be over there with them for the next hour as well. Just let them know Tinkerbell sent you. It was so much. I had a great time talking to you guys and having Eddie online here. So we had a great time tonight. Hope you like this live stream. And if you did, please don't leave without hitting the subscribe button and liking this live stream. I love you all to the moon and back, and I will see you next Tuesday. Have fun. Bye-bye.